Hey, we're back, everybody. Still being raped and tortured, but I had a nice meal. Nice nootropic meal. Nice neurogenic meal. Let's do that. I think that's nice. Okay. Let's upload our videos. We can't waste time anymore. We just can't waste time like that. We have to get our nootropics here applied to Bertram's. Go ahead and change our resume. Fix everything on Google Drive that we need to fix. Have all of our stuff in one sort of nice folder. And what else? Okay, this can be closed. Did I get any interesting emails? From anybody interesting? Oh, submit documentation for what? Okay, we have stuff to do. We have responsibilities to take care of. So let's keep checking this stuff. Keep checking, bro. Keep checking, man. Check them, man. Okay. I'm from Facebook. I'm active now. I'm on live cam. Would you help me in coming? I love you too, Mom. Sorry I said all that shit. I'll respond to you later. Let's open that email now. Hi, Mom. Hi, Mommy. Would I have sex with my mom? What's wrong with you? Why are you such a fucking creep, bro? Why can't I open this in a new tab? It's bullshit. Hi. Why do you always ask stuff like that? It's disgusting, man. That's just me? No, it's just you. You're a fucking creep. Would I fuck my dad? No, what's wrong with you? See, this is the way Mark Zuckerberg thinks. Because he's an incestuous bastard. He's a fucking, It's happening in the course, I'm not sure. Nope. Listen, this is a sort of, whatchamacallit, a private interest group that didn't actually even help me. Fam. You fucked up, fam. See, this is the way Mark Zuckerberg thinks. Yeah, I know I'm recording. This is the way Mark Zuckerberg thinks. He's like an incestuous bastard. He's like a sadistic homosexual rapist. Like, there's something wrong with you, bro. Why don't you actually say something worth saying to me, Matt Gaetz? This settlement is worth like what? Motherfucking, like $14? That's not worth shit. So I just had my food, my neurogenic food, and I had some, whatchamacallit, okay, no interesting emails. I had some, I had some smoke. I smoked some Black and Mild. Oh, I was going to leave the comment here. Let's do that before I forget. Hey, Sword Catcher. Let's have everything that we're going to do that's functionally useful in terms of our responsibilities in one sort of window. Get here. Okay, we did that. Let's get all this stuff here. Blue. There's no emails here worth looking at. Don't be shy. Fuck Twitter. You're full of shit. Twitter. Let's separate these two windows here. Pitch deck, nice pitch deck. This is the old one though, because I came up with another pitch deck. I had another one. Let's look for that one. Oh, do we need anything here? I don't think so. Bertram. Now we're gonna do some serious work. We spent all day bullshitting, man. I just can't keep doing that. I know, like, it's really tempting to do so, but I have to actually work and do stuff. Close that for now. Let's look at these again. Nice. Like that. This one's epic as fuck too. It's kind of like grainy though. I like that. What else do we have open here? Okay, that's it. Very good. Very nice. I've been awake for 13 hours. Nice. Okay, let's close this. We have to go back to the Google Drive. And first, let's answer this. Let's reprioritize. We have an agenda for tonight, and to work on the website too. Get. Let's open up DLC. It's in video codecs, right? I forgot where it was. Interface, me interfaces, hotkey settings, interface hotkey settings. So go to tools, preferences. Show settings all, interface, hotkey settings, and then jump sizes. short, short, medium, long. For your scanning. Listen to the music. I want to listen to The Last Roman, or maybe the Rise Son of Rome remix that I made. Let's listen to that. Actually, The Last Roman sounds better, but the beginning part of The Last Roman is very disharmonious. It's not nice. Length, right? Sorry. It's very disharmonious in the first few minutes, but then the latter half of the remix sounds better. I want to redo this one because it was three remixes at once. It wasn't necessarily so easy to do. Being raped? Yes. Am I gonna forgive you? No. What does that feel like? It feels like I'm getting fucked up the ass. That's embarrassing. Then why did you implant me? Why did you rape me and torture me for years? No, I don't have to forgive him. We're not having a discussion about this. No. that was a good remix, but then, yeah, the first half is really disharmonious. I don't like it. I'm going to redo that one later when I have some free time. I do like my remixes. I do like listening to my own music. I just don't like, how can I say this? Kind of beating a dead horse. Like, eventually it's going to get kind of old, but yeah, I still like the novelty of listening to not only my own work in terms of my remix, but, a composition that's remade and remixed as a function of, listening to this with a new perspective in mind, that this is now a different piece of music. This is now a new, different composition where, qualities derivative of some other person's work or a group of people's work, and that makes it kind of enjoyable for me to listen to. Like Operator 1, for example. Like, this reminds me so much of, like, the kind of tension that happens in the opera siege. That's, like, much more, to me, not necessarily better than the first Rainy Night in Tallinn track. Tallinn track. But it's something that kind of has its own unique, how can I say this, style, and it has its own unique intensity for a given particular subsection of the opera siege, where the protagonist in Tenet has to just try and disarm all of these bombs, or effectively, because since he can't disarm them, he has to gather all of them, and he's throwing them up into the top of the opera house, the top foyer. I think that's how you say it, right? Foyer of the opera house, to avoid having all those people die. So, and yeah, that's something that I like out of making new remixes or new music. There's a new sort of twist to it. There's a new sort of appeal to it. Like War of the Worlds, A Call to Arms. That's awesome, man. I really like the sort of harmony there that happens between the sort of old piece of history, the Orson Welles broadcast of H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, and then Squad Loadout from XCOM 2. I think that's one of the best orchestral pieces I've ever heard in my life. Squad Loadout by Tim Wynn, and his, if he has a sort of orchestra for XCOM 2 that he works with. I think so. I don't think he plays all those instruments by himself. Maybe he could. I wouldn't put it beyond him to not be able to do so. So, let's listen to Operator 1 first. I like that. But eventually it's going to get tiring for me to listen to the same stuff over and over again, which is why I like making new remixes. But then eventually I want to progress, once I get the implant out, to practicing playing instruments myself and making my own music. I want to have a better sense of rhythm and harmony. I want to make some good music. I think I could be a really good musician. I came up with a name for a band called Silent Genocide. I came up with a track list, as a matter of fact. I'm sorry that we're sort of meandering from the actual work that I need to do, because I need to get back to that, most certainly. But yeah, I came up with a track list. I think it's in my new journal here, because I have two journals. I actually found a new journal at the psychiatric ward. Even though you can just ask for them, I found a new one that wasn't being used. Nobody actually took it, so why waste into the journal? Yeah, so I came up with a band called Silent Genocide. Here you go. Here's a track list for potential songs. And I'm thinking about, like, the sort of music that I want to create, that I want to compose. I got an 87 in Music 3 in high school, instrumental Music 3. And when I took instrumental Music 1, I had a 78. So I flipped my grade around. I did a really good job. Silent Genocide. So I'm gonna read the track names to you. Here's the first track name: Violence and Silence. And it's going to be a self-titled album. The first album is going to be called Silent Genocide, in terms of the album name and the artist name. So it's called, here's the first track, it's called Violence and Silence. Number 2 is called Smackdown and Smackdown. Sorry, I need to clean my teeth too. I'll do that later. And tomorrow morning, I'm going to definitely, while I'm coming up in the nootropics, clean the house. Track number 3 is called I Came, I Saw, I Conquered. Track number 4 is called Pretentious Douchebag. Number 5 is called Racketeering Total War. Number 6 is called Deus Ex Machina. Number 7 is called Recursive Redux. Number 8 is called Silent Genocide. Yeah. Number 9 is called Shoot the Messenger. You're going to like the rest of these track names too. Number 10 is called The New Sound. Track number 11 is called Old Guys That Look Like Young Teens. Number 12 is called 5-Star Militia, a tribute to my brother's band when he was at either Carnegie Mellon or at the end of high school. I forgot. I think that was when he was in Carnegie Mellon, his first year of Carnegie Mellon or second year of Carnegie Mellon. Yeah, he came up with a band with his friend Marco Vidal and like 2 other guys. They were like a heavy metal, they were like a death metal screeching band, and I hated that because I actually like vocals worth listening to. I don't like that kind of stuff. It's not my sort of taste. It's not my sort of thing there. 5-Star Militia, nice. Track 13, Fish Market. My name isn't Slip, I'm sorry, I can't be too loud. Track number 14, Stimulus Check Guillotine. Track number 15. Coup d'etat in slow motion. Nice. Silent genocide. I'd like to have somebody like Joe Rogan in the band. Like, it should be like me, Joe Rogan, my brother, and like Marco Vidal. I think if Joe Rogan like took smart drugs and he became super intelligent, even after like this transhumanist stuff happens, hopefully so. Like, I think he'd be a really good musician. He's bass, man. I like Joe Rogan, I do. But like, he's been a little bit flaky lately, honestly, with this sort of, this impartiality towards like inconsistency, and this impartiality towards how can I say this? Uh, uh, Doubling back on like the years of progress that you made in terms of not being a hypocritical douchebag, not being a fucking sellout to Spotify. It's a lot of money, man. But like, what are you now? Like, are you kind of like a hostess for Spotify? Tell Spotify to go fuck themselves. Like, take them to court and say, listen, I want the Joe Rogan experience back. Listen, what about donations, bro? Like, I know it's kind of weird to ask for donations, but like, your fans love you, man. Like, why let Spotify ruin like the actual Joe Rogan experience? You should just live stream, dude. Like, if you feel comfortable with that, like, it's up to you. Like, you have your 3 hour, sessions with like Joey Diaz and stuff, and like Eddie Bravo. Some of those shows are fucking hilarious. You should have, if I ever become like famous and like somebody worth talking to, you should have me, like my dad, my brother Marco, and like I guess like Alexander Rodriguez. He'll tell you some stories, man, about how he killed Hitler and how he saved the 1979 Olympics from a terrorist attack. He was a sergeant in the army, but he was secretly, a special forces operator. He time traveled and killed Hitler, Oh, I guess you don't know because we have to tell you those stories. Yeah, bring Joey Diaz too, and motherfucking Eddie Bravo. Yeah, we should have a band, man. Silent Genocide. We should do it. What instrument do you want to play? We're gonna play rock paper scissors to see who plays what. I can't be the vocalist though because my voice. I need to train. My voice is really bad. Like, I'm a good kind of baritone kind of guy, good for the bass, the heavy bass kind of tones. I could be a good backing track singer, but like me being a vocalist, you have to hit like all those sort of tones like all at once, and be able to rock them out. Like, not all at once, but respectively so when you need to make good music. You just can't have an alto or a baritone kind of a singer or vocalist. It gets sort of monotone and drab. I think like Mick Jagger was one of the best vocalists in history. Like, if you listen to Gimme Shelter, man, that guy can hit fucking soprano notes, man. That guy is fucking crazy, dude. That guy can just go to high heaven with his voice. But me, I have a much deeper voice, and it's hard for me to kind of undulate my vocal cords that way. And it's really, really something that you have to train over the course of a lifetime, or at least for a few years. And I don't know. I don't have a voice like that. But I'd be like a good drummer or guitarist. I would love to play the guitar. Yeah, Silent Genocide. That'd be interesting. We just play like occasionally a few gigs or whatever. Maybe like a one hitter quitter album. If you want the Joe Rogan, instead of the Jimi Hendrix experience, the Joe Rogan experience. The Joe Rogan experience. Have you ever been experienced? Whatever. Let's listen to Operator 1. Yeah, we'll get Director Nolan to like have a feature on the album. We'll get Darren Aronofsky, Gary Jules, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Hardy. It'll be like Bang Camaro. You'll have like 30 guys singing all at once. Isabella Santiago will have like the main like vocal, like the main vocal chorus, like solo, the acapella solo. No, only I get to bang Isabella. It's not going to be bang Isabella. It's not going to be everybody bangs Isabella. Even though it's already happening because she's a sex slave. No, she's my little wife full of love. And we're going to need to have a serious discussion about that. Not everybody gets to bang Isabella. Not everybody gets to go home. Sorry, my neighbors need to sleep. I need to be a little bit more quiet than that. Let's continue. Excuse me for my barbaric savageness. but then it's telling me to submit documents. Like, what's the problem here? I don't know. Whatever. Just probably some error there because they're probably talking about their marketplace plans. So I don't have money. I don't have a job. So, and it said that my Medicaid was going to expire on the 25th, which doesn't make sense. So I guess I was re-enrolled because of a special enrollment period. I have to call them and see. I have to call Get Covered New Jersey. Do I really not have money? I don't. Can I show? Can I show you my Santander bank account? Sure. I don't mind. Not my login information though. Yeah, I have like $2. I spent like what, $2 today on Black and Milds. When was the last time I had money? Oh, last year. I got about $20,000 in unemployment money because of the fact that I used to work. So where did all the money go? Drugs mostly, food, like getting overweight, like drinking beer, because I'm being raped. I really would have invested in the stock market like much sooner. But then again, my life has been pretty much derailed by rape and torture and murder and sex trafficking and abuse. So yeah, $2.31. Nice. Sweet. Do I have any more money? Oh, I can liquidate some of my hardware, my virtual reality hardware, which is why I made the Craigslist listing today. That's in the previous video. So, $2.31, bro. Am I gonna spend any more money? No, because then I'm gonna get an overdraft fee if I spend too much. And I'm not gonna walk there. I'm not gonna walk a mile to buy one Black and Mild. I'll just wait for my dad to come and ask him for like $10 before I can sell my stuff and then go get a job. So like that's it. If I work at Bertram's, that's gonna be really good for me because then I'm gonna be able to go ahead and walk about 12 miles a day. That's just quite a lot to walk, but you know, if I have some nicely fitted shoes or put some cushioning in my shoes and get a nice insole, I'll be fine. Obviously, I'm going to get tired after a while, but still, when I start getting money, I'll be able to go ahead and take an Uber sometimes, and save my money, and get the implant removed, obviously, and then go ahead and kill Mark Zuckerberg. I had a different pitch deck. Where is it? Let's see if I named it something different. If I don't have it anymore, then I lost it. I had a new pitch deck that I came up with, and I had much more information on there about my potentialities and what I can actually do. You want to see this one? Whole brain emulation of animals via spiking neuronal networks, via spiking polychronous neural networks or neural groups. Whole brain emulation of animals via spiking neural networks and polychronous neuronal groups. Yeah, this is something that's very theoretical, very tentative, because I'm being raped, I'm being tortured, I have no liquidity or capital, I have no way of actually producing the actual printed circuit boards, or even quantum printed circuit boards, which need to be obviously tested and theoretically developed to do such things. And obviously, first and foremost, the actual testing in vivo. Actually, I think OpenAI and Neuralink might be much closer to developing my actual solution than I am, because they actually have the capital and liquidity to do so. So they have the workers to be able to do such things. They can actually manifest the productive capacity to do so. Do I feel jealous about that? No. I just don't want to be raped and tortured, because I could easily work for OpenAI or Neuralink, but then we're going to have to make some sort of deal here, because I'm a highly intelligent man. I'm not going to just do all of that work for free and get fucked up the ass for that. No, fuck you. How about I take Mark Zuckerberg's money via a dispensation of relief on my behalf, where the state provides, excuse me, I'm talking, where the state provides relief when they sentence Mark Zuckerberg to death, and then they issue damages against him and his estate and Palantir and so on and so forth, and actually bring mankind into the technological singularity, but with my company, and we will get we will land. We'll hit the ground running. We'll land on the ground running and sprint exponentially towards the singularity and start flying, I guess, into outer space and escape velocity, and reach the end of the universe in like 3 seconds. Then come back and circle back straight back into our offices and say, listen, we have all the technologies you need. Because we went into the future as we were developing our technologies, and we took them back in time, and then we have them now. But first we have to do the work within 3 seconds, so that's going to be our first goal. I wouldn't put it past myself, or like beyond myself, to actually not be able to do something like that, right? It could be possible. I think so. Neuralink is actually very advanced. Have you seen their microscopic electrodes? Am I jealous? No. I think this is very, very advanced, honestly. These microscopic electrodes, this is crazy, bro. This is exactly what we needed to work on at Singularitarian Technologies Corporation. And I've got a really good method for you. I've got a really good solution for you. But nobody ever wants to listen to me. Nobody ever wants to take my motherfucking advice, even when it's motherfucking free. Hello. But I need money for some stuff, man. I need to work for something in life, right? How am I going to support myself? This looks like that injecting machine out of a Dead Space. This is some crazy ass shit, man. Look at how finely precise that actual stitching and sewing machine, whatever the fuck that is, that motherfucking injector, that microscopic electrode, but that microscopic electrode injector is crazy, dude. That's some good shit right there, man. In the machine of flesh, I talk about nanoscopic electrodes, but then again, we are getting way off topic here. I need to go ahead and finish what I was going to do. I'm going to make a copy of these. I never finished Proton Flame. That was one of my books, too. Let's move this to the books folder. Let's reorganize this stuff. Make it a little bit more concise. I'm not in the mood for more remixes right now. Let's listen to some genuine music that's not like remixed. Not necessarily that my work is like fraudulent, but I hate listening to the same stuff over and over again. Let's see what's in my mix. What's in my remix? My mix. I'm sorry. No. I'm gonna go smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna go smoke more of my black and mild sometime soon. I'm in the mood for Alberto Balsam. I'm kind of coming down right now. It's been almost 14 hours. If I'm scammed, then you must be a good rapist. What is this? Oh, nice. This is for year to date too. My screen's a little dirty, I'm sorry. I gotta clean my screen. Damn, nice. Oops. Hold on. The inverted Gaussian. When was this? February 14th. I need to remember exactly what I was going to do here because you were going to steal one of my ideas. I know that. And I had an idea about an inverted Gaussian. I can't tell you exactly what it was though, but I'm starting to remember it. See, I was in the middle of writing this, but then I stopped writing the prospectus there. Yeah, this is the inverted Gaussian, I guess. work on this if I was not being raped and tortured? Yes. And I would contact Microsoft and I would say, listen, this is not within my right to actually release this software, because that could technically be considered like a form of intellectual property violation. So I would contact Microsoft and I would say, listen, here's the software that I have. I would like to make a deal with you. What do you think the software is worth to you? Should you partner with EasyCast? I don't think EasyCast is going to like this, but maybe Microsoft should make their own transceiver. That would be nice. Nice. Maximum entropy probability distribution. Oh my god. Oh my god, man. Oh, Gaussians. I love Gaussians. What's this for? This prospectus is about creating a remote desktop protocol piece of software that is effectively acting as an intermediary between a transceiver for your Xbox, which is the EasyCast 2, which I was going to use as my transceiver, and I was going to buy an Xbox, and I was going to work on this software to reduce polling latency of the actual remote desktop protocol software, and have the transceiver be mirrored to remote desktop protocol, where yes, you could have the actual audio-visual stream on a server-side computer where it's running the internet, and you could have a connection via remote desktop protocol and actually play your Xbox from anywhere, like using an Android app, or using like your phone, or using like even a TV, or anything that has an Xbox. I'm sorry, or even, not just an Xbox, but any sort of computer, Microsoft Windows enabled device that has remote desktop protocol as a sort of piece of software, and then you connect via remote desktop protocol, then via this sort of relay, yeah, you've reduced the actual latency via predictive programming, and you can go ahead and play your Xbox from anywhere. I didn't write this. Actually, I did. Well, I was being raped and tortured too. And I'm being raped and tortured right now. Am I going to forgive you? No. I don't have to. This is a really good idea I had too. What was I doing here? Oh, I think I remember. I was on LinkedIn and I was trying to contact you guys for Tenet, and I used index match, search match or something. What exactly? I can't show you that. And that probably wouldn't have worked anyway because of the 32-bit buffer overflow I would have encountered, which is a really good case usage for, and case example for 512-bit, whatchamacallit, instruction sets. Let's make copies of these things. It's nice that you think that, because it was like 1 or 2 weeks of research, and then I was like, wow, I basically know everything. If I just do a little bit of research, but then I'm being raped and I'm being tortured. I can't work like that. I can't. I refuse to. No, I refuse to. I don't have to. No. I'm not gonna forgive you. Listen, you're stupid. No, get the hell out of here. You're guilty as hell. I rescind all of those claims that I rescind that dismissal of claims within and of itself. You're still raping me and you're still torturing me. And also, that wasn't legally binding because I sent it to your email. See, I was reading the elements of data analytic style by Jeff Leake. Very good book, by the way. I actually need to finish reading this later. I particularly like this book. It was really good. I was copying and pasting some of the notes and writing down my own notes too. Why did I stop? Because I'm being raped and I'm being tortured. Am I gonna forgive you? No. Came up with a good idea for that too. No, I don't have to. Actually, I don't have to. Yeah, here was our problem. Up, 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 up. I was gonna finish that. I was gonna finish that solution for you, but I'm being raped, being tortured. I'm being raped and tortured right now. I'm not gonna persist for long. I'm gonna go smoke. I'm gonna go smoke the rest of my. No, no. The answer is no. I'm gonna go smoke the rest of my black and mild. I'll be right back. Maybe not the entire thing, but a little bit of it. You think that I'm stupid? You think that I'm gonna go to jail? Actually, I know what's gonna happen. You're gonna die in a civil war, and I'm gonna torture you to death. You don't think so? I know differently. No, no, no. I'm gonna torture you to death. Am I gonna forgive you? No. I'm gonna torture you and your family to death. No, Mark Zuckerberg's not much smarter than I am because he's stupid. He couldn't answer the questions that I had answered. He couldn't do shit with his life. He's stupid. He's a scam artist. He's a fraud. So am I? I unequivocally deny on my behalf, but I formally accept on your behalf via the proposition so, and your proposition so are you. You motherfucker in the first degree. I'm gonna torture you and your family to death. I didn't do any of that work. Bite your tongue, you motherfucker. Verily, you tell lies in the name of Satan, you motherfucker in the first degree. Mark Zuckerberg, that's not even your real name. That's an alias. You're a Rothschild. You're a grandchild of the Rothschilds. You're a motherfucking Satanist. We're gonna fucking torture you to death and send you to hell, motherfucker. In the first degree, you're a motherfucker in the first degree. We're gonna torture you to death. gonna rip you apart limb by limb, and I'm gonna make you eat your own shit. You know what I'm gonna do to you? I'm gonna go. Excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, I'm talking. I'm gonna fucking tear off every limb that you have. I'm gonna cut off your cock and your balls, and I'm gonna cauterize the wounds. And if you think you have the fucking audacity to pass out, I'm gonna inject you with amphetamine and motherfucking adrenaline to keep you awake. Then I'm gonna fucking disembowel you, and I'm gonna strangle you with your intestines, and I'm gonna get a fucking hammer. I'm gonna knock out every motherfucking vertebra in your spine, and I'm gonna stick your head up your ass until you fucking die. And I'm gonna keep injecting you with adrenaline and amphetamines to keep you awake. cooler heads prevail. Because sometimes I say that stuff as a function of being tortured myself. If I'll get justice, there will be none of that. There's no cruel and unusual punishment in this country. There shouldn't be cruel and unusual punishment anywhere. Even if I was given the exception to do such things, I would still say no. The actual international pressure, the true international over the pressure the true internationals will lose over the pressure. You'll lose over the pressure. The pressure will pressurize you so much that you're going to be stuck and backed into a corner where you cannot escape, and you'll be heavily monitored, Mark Zuckerberg, on death row for the rest of your short life. That's not cool. You're accused of having committed many heinous and grievous capital crimes against all of humanity, and just even against myself. You've already basically, in my mind, and so far as I know, you've already served yourself a life sentence, or at least a death sentence, for trying to kill me and my family, trying to kill Isabella Santiago, torturing me for years. Fuck you, asshole. No, fuck you. I'm not your friend, Mark Zuckerberg. I'm gonna put you in your motherfucking grave. Hard talk? No. If the police can't do it, if nobody else can do it, then I'll do it myself. No, that's not beyond me. I'm gonna kill you and your entire family if I have to. And if you keep fucking torturing me and making it worse for yourself before I take off the implant, then guess what? I'm gonna really think about it. Besides coming up with a risperidone, besides coming up with a risperidone gun to sedate you and your guards, I might decide to just brutally torture you to death and mutilate your corpse and post it on Facebook Live on your own motherfucking Facebook account. We can go the easy way or we can go the hard way. Stop torturing. No, shut the fuck up and listen. Shut the fuck up and listen, you motherfucker in the first degree. Stop torturing me. Does that mean that you have power? That means that you're gonna die, motherfucker! Sorry, my neighbors have to sleep. I'm sorry. You're gonna die, motherfucker! And listen, guess what? Almost anybody can become as intelligent as I have become. I've got a little bit of a head start, but so what? I gave my research away for free, knowing full and well that I was never going to charge for a research paper. It looks much better on my behalf that I actually do things for the intrinsic virtue of doing the right thing. I don't particularly care about the infinite amount of dollars I could have made by fucking scalping people and abusing them and harassing them. I have a better life to live by actually doing the right thing. I'm not going to join no, excuse me, I'm talking. I'm not going to join a motherfucking satanic pyramid scheme. And if you don't want to help me, then we're going to help ourselves and we're going to kill you in a civil war. If you provide resistance, if you fire back at us, if you try to hurt us, we're gonna kill you in a motherfucking civil war. But listen, we should at least keep it civil if I have the implant taken out. But who knows who else has been implanted? Who knows who else is being tortured and sex trafficked and raped and being treated like shit by Mark Zuckerberg? I won't have any mercy on your ass. I'll be one of the judges facing you in your International War Crimes Tribunal, and will be as reasonable as we have to be and as just as we must. But listen, you're pretty much guilty beyond a reasonable doubt for many thousands upon thousands of counts for these heinous and grievous capital crimes that you've committed against all of humanity. We're gonna put you in your motherfucking grave. Is there anybody else that I have a problem with? Yeah. Palmer Luckey, Peter Thiel, John Carmack, Sheryl Sandberg, and the rest of your heinous and grievous sex trafficking organization and murder and rape and torture, and other heinous and grievous crimes, inclusive of those previous crimes, but not limited to those crimes, racketeering, influence, and corrupt organization that you're running there at Facebook Incorporated. We're gonna put you in your motherfucking grave. Listen, as my father used to say, I'm gonna have a new a spin, a new twist on what my father used to say. My father always used to tell me, as a little kid, when I thought he was acting stupid, or if I thought my father was stupid, and I was acting fresh on my own behalf, he would say, listen, don't insult my intelligence. But now, as John Cravalasheris, I've got a new, see what I'm talking, I've got a new twist on the old saying my father used to tell me, on his old adage, don't insult my intelligences. Don't insult my intelligences, you motherfucker in the first degree. Yeah, the Elizabeth Police Department's gonna go there. And even though it's even though it's out of their jurisdiction, they're gonna arrest you at whatever 1456 Dumb Fuck Drive in Palo Alto. They're gonna say, listen, you've been charged. You're a criminal suspect that's been charged with being a motherfucker in the first degree. We're gonna have your mother testify as a witness and as a victim in your trial. Yes, how many times did Mark Zuckerberg fuck you up the ass against your will by him acting as a motherfucker in the first degree? How many times, Mark Zuckerberg, did you fuck your sister up the ass, who's also your mother and your aunt and your first cousin, and raped her against her will as a motherfucker in the first degree? Oh man, you should have saw me on the 23rd of July. This fucking apartment was like, and I'm not admitting anything criminal here. I'm not criminally inculpating myself. What I'm saying is that I was, excuse me, I'm talking. I would still plead not guilty. This motherfucking apartment was like rigged for a motherfucking battle, like World War III. And I didn't even booby trap it. I just moved stuff around. I was gonna kick a motherfucking futon down the stairs. Like, you wouldn't have been able to get up those stairs. You would have needed like a bulldozer. You would have needed to drive a bulldozer up the stairs. But then eventually, no, honestly, I was ready to die on the 23rd. But then I started reasoning out my decisions here. Because I was scared? No. Because you started talking to me and you got to me. You really did. You know what you said? You said, I said, listen, do you want to die right now? And he said, listen, I don't want to die right now, man. Just come downstairs and talk to us. Maybe some of those police officers are really good people. I don't know. And you got me. I can't be very selfish. What do you want from me? I won't accept. What do you want from me? I'm just living my life. Why'd you have to torture me? Why'd you have to rape me? I didn't want to do that to the police. I support good police. What if some of those people there were really good people? There's one police officer. We used to go to the Elizabeth Coliseum gym together. I remember you. We used to go to the gym together. I don't think you're very evil. At least I hope not. Did you deserve to die? No. And you got me. Always taking advantage of me, everyone. Abusing me, hurting me. Why can't I have some justice in my life? Why can't I have things go right for me instead of being raped and tortured and mocked and abused and harassed? Why can't I be allowed to prosper and help others? And you got me. I don't want to hurt you. I didn't want to. I was hoping that you could have ended my life. But you got me. I heard what you had to say, man. I said, no, I don't want to die right now. Come down here and talk to us. And I pretty much threw the steak knife sharpener on the floor, put my hands up in the air. I let you pat me down. I don't have anything. I'm just a poor man, a humble man, a broken man after years of being tortured. Please help me. What am I supposed to do? I even prayed to God. What do you want from me? If I could have just had God disable the implant and let me move on with my life and have me take it out, then I would have accepted it if that's what Isabella wanted. If it wasn't really the case that she was sex trafficked against her will. But I don't really know. Why am I being tortured? Please help me. Yeah, maybe I could have killed 15 or 20 officers. Maybe it could have been 15 or 20 really good people. Maybe the whole house could have just burned down. I could have burned to death. Who knows? The 23rd is gone. I don't want to live the rest of my life like this, and I can't forgive you. Yeah, I'm gonna be Mark Zuckerberg's torture slave. For what? No. Does anybody deserve that? Please, help me. You got me though. I didn't want to hurt you. To be honest, if I didn't have to, I don't want to hurt anybody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did that. Would I do that again? No. Maybe you understood now. You heard my cry for help. Please, don't do this to me. Don't do this to your families. Don't do this to billions of people around the world. And the FBI, if you're listening, please help us. How's anyone supposed to live like this? You got me. But I didn't want to hurt you. And I couldn't have been so selfish. Maybe that would have ended my pain and suffering for the rest of my life. I didn't really care, and I still don't. Especially if I have to be tortured for the rest of my life. And you say that I'm ugly. I don't care. I don't care if you think that I'm ugly. Can you listen to what I have to say? We're not talking about the way I look. My ugliness is a beauty for somebody else. My ugliness is beauty for somebody else. Isabella always thought that I was handsome, and she's my little wife. What does it matter if you think that I'm ugly? If I'm fat? That's up to me and whoever loves me. Am I gonna forgive you? No. But I do want to hurt Mark Zuckerberg for what you've done to me. But I want justice, and justice shouldn't involve cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah, that's my vengeance, and it's not revenge. The vengeance is yet to come. The revenge is for something that's already been dealt with, and this hasn't been dealt with. You got me though. I even told my dad, yeah, your son's gonna die tonight. You got me. I was hoping though that you could at least bring some beer and maybe some nicotine juice and a pizza. Maybe wait a little while longer. Let me get a little more inebriated. Because I don't have money and I need pizza and beer and nicotine juice. I mean, I would work for it if I could, but I'm being tortured. I can't take this anymore. I'm being mocked and abused and harassed and treated like shit just for being who I am. Even after I changed my life and I became the person that I always wanted to be. Somebody who was really in control of their life, even against all odds. Somebody who became extremely intelligent. My family always used to abuse me. They did. They said, what are you, fucking stupid sometimes? They always thought I was dumb. And I didn't like that. And I wanted to give my research to everybody around the world. I used to think the same things. Yeah, smart drugs don't work. But I'm living proof. And other people who have been severely injured can be healed too. Hopefully, God willing. And I feel so good every day. I feel like my depression just melts away. I feel so happy. I feel so confident. I feel so good. I feel so good. I feel like the person I always wanted to be. But I'm not gonna live the rest of my life being tortured. Am I being tortured right now? Yeah. And if you want to come here and restrain me, or even worse, come here in the middle of the night because you feel like you want to serve the devil or whatever else and beat me to death, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, go torture me. What do you want from me? This is not the America I thought I grew up in. It's very sad what's happened. What do I really want out of life? To at least be free. To at least be with Isabella if she wants me to be with her. To at least do the good things I wanted to do. To work hard. Not to self-aggrandize or to brag because the question was asked and I would like to answer it if I could. I don't care if I have to compete. Then good on you. Good on you that you used, your life for a good purpose and wasting it on nonsense. I'm sorry, sometimes I waste my life on things that I don't think are the best use of time, but I'm not a machine. I'm not a robot. I don't think life would be worth living if every second, every moment was self-calculated, predetermined. Yeah, I'm a robot now. What kind of a life is that to live? I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't meet your expectations or just be perfect, or I don't know what you want from me. I can't forgive you, no. It makes me feel really bad because I always saw Mark Zuckerberg and Palmer Luckey and John Carmack and even Cheryl and Peter Thiel and everyone else involved, and unfortunately Elon too, as different people. But I hope Elon has thought about it and has done much different with his life. I always thought that he was very sort of kind of like me. I like Jeff Bezos too. I don't think he's an evil person. Yeah, maybe a very calculating businessman. But guess what? It's business. If you can't handle it, that's not for you. Be the worker instead of the boss. But it's not like the boss doesn't work too. And Mark Zuckerberg, I think you're a fraud. You don't have to resort to raping and torturing and murdering people. What kind of a life is that? And that's the point that I wanted to get to. I liked Palmer Luckey a few years ago. Nate Mitchell and Brendan, Michael Antonov, Michael Abrash too. I particularly like Mr. Abrash. I wanted to work for Valve. I like Valve too. I love the Half-Life games. If I get justice, I think I have a higher calling in life. I have the extreme opportunity that has been presented before nobody before to make do with the past and have a second chance and to do it great, to do it perfectly moving forward. Maybe it won't be perfect from the get-go, but I love exponentials. They're very slow to start off, usually, for most exponentials in nature, but then they really pick up some steam later, I'm 28 years old. What were you expecting when I was 15, 12 years old, 7 years old? I was a normal kid. I feel bad that I didn't take Matt Garino seriously. We talked about smart drugs 10 years ago. I should have researched it. Maybe I should have watched Limitless back then. I would have been inspired, maybe. Maybe I was, 9 years too late, 8 years too late. I'm sorry that's not good enough for you. Right now you're seeing a shell of a broken man. I never wanted to have to do this. I just wanted to live my life. I always thought about what my dad said. I never want to live off the government dole. And last year I felt really ashamed that I had to ask for that money. And then I spent it on drugs because I'm being raped. I didn't want to be raped my entire life. And I've been raped so long, for so many years. It really breaks me down, wears me down. Sorry. Sometimes I can't control it. That's how I feel about it. Let's continue. I get a job at the Bertram warehouse. They might be like, what the hell are you doing here? Yeah, go back to my distributors. But they're going to expect a lot out of me. I'm sorry, I'm still being tortured. Maybe I can do really good work for you still, with the new impetus that I have and the new kind of calling that I have. But researching is gonna be hard. I'm being raped, I'm being tortured. I wish, Joseph would answer my text messages and buy my stuff. I'm sorry that I switched it up on you. I was gonna give you my stuff for $400, but the price of nootropics has gone up extensively. I need to buy other things too. Hopefully, I won't spend so much money on drugs. And I want to go out on my campaign. I want to go out on the street, and if people want flyers, walk around with my sandwich boards. Please help me. I don't want to be tortured anymore. I don't want to be raped anymore. Even being injected with the DNA altering technologies was very severe. It's almost like you don't remember that the past exists. I remember, I do. And between 2015, up from 2012 up until 2019 or so, it was very severe. But then I had healed over time. But still, I remember the first time I had the first episode psychosis. I couldn't handle it. Look, I put those holes in my wall. I'm sorry, Santiago and Mr. Elvis. I'm sorry. I put that hole in the wall too, because of what you're doing to me. Now with the torture, with the implant. Nobody deserves to go through this. Especially, I know you might think that I'm bragging. A nice person like me. Why? Why are you gonna do that to me? Why are you doing this to me? And I guess for everybody that I felt like I upset in life and wronged, that you've held a grudge against me, you don't like me, whatever else, I want to make it up to you. Within reason. A good reason, too. Please don't hurt me anymore. Stop hurting me. Julia Blair Kirshner, she wrote on the wall there, please stop hurting me. Please don't hurt me anymore. And that really struck a chord with me at the psychiatric ward. I felt like breaking down and crying. I remember Miss Kirshner. Yeah, she seemed like a nice girl. But those psychiatric wards, they pretty much just, they grind you down in terms of being a human being. All of those psych tech workers, the nurses, the doctors, they pretty much think that you're just a piece of shit. You're not a human being anymore. Even the police, yeah, go put them in the nut house. I'm a human being first and foremost. Please don't treat me that way. And Julia, unfortunately, maybe is still in those psychiatric wards. I remember one day I was talking to her, and she was like, yeah, I'm drinking the mouthwash. I said, why, Julia? Would I like her if she wasn't in a psychiatric ward? I would like it if she would read my research and help heal herself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No, I'm not forgiving. I'm apologizing for my inadequacy, for whatever made you feel like you could torture me. Smart drugs don't make you happy. Well, guess what? Almost nothing will make you happy. Even though I was fucking feeling ecstatic today, I was feeling fucking great, even while being tortured. Does that mean that I can work? No, you're not even thinking about this in the right way, you asshole. You're not even thinking about like what I'm even talking about. You know what's happening to me, and you're still trying to instigate with me. I don't give a fuck if you want to survive, Counselor Ulster, and you want to be living your own life independently. You're going to prison for being an accessory after the fact because you're a criminal attorney at law. You hook-nosed Sabatian Frankist prick, and I told it to your face numerous times. I emailed you, did whatever I could. I said, you're not my counselor anymore. You're a fucking hook-nosed piece of shit. And I told Megan from Lexeria, Megan, whatever her last name was, I forgot. I told her, listen, Counselor Ulster is a motherfucking criminal. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna pay Lexeria anymore, because he's a fucking criminal. finish my thoughts here and kind of regain my composure. Regain my composure and move forward with whatever I have to do. Because I'm going to need money for anything else, because my dad and I are going to be, at loggerheads about what he really has to be true. And I want to get a job and then do whatever I have to do. Maybe even work at Bertram. But I asked him, listen, you want me to be out of your life? Then fine. Then let me get the implant taken out and just go live in a fucking $800 a month apartment, 1 bedroom, whatever. I don't need a fucking car. I'll just walk to work if I work at Bertram's or anywhere else. Maybe they'll accept me. Who knows? What would I expect? Whatever you want to pay me. I don't particularly care. At least $15. That's what I was making at my distributors. I can make it work if I work overtime. Yeah, whatever you want to fucking pay me. I don't give a fuck, dude. I just need money to save so I can go kill Mark Zuckerberg. Then, I go turn myself into the police and plead not guilty. Or I'm going to shoot him up the ass with motherfucking risperidone darts. I'm going to get a turkey baster full of risperidone and put up his butthole. His dirty, hairy, Talmudic asshole. Posting on Facebook Live. Posted on Facebook. Have the video streaming on Facebook Live. The dog beast is gonna be like taking a piss on Mark Zuckerberg's face. Priscilla Chan's gonna be like knocked out on the couch. She's gonna be like. Isabella's going to be taking a shit on Mark Zuckerberg's face. I'm going to be calling 911. Yes, operator here. I just basically sedated all of Mark Zuckerberg's security guards here in Palo Alto and on Edgewood Drive. I shot them with risperidone darts. Tell us more. Mark Zuckerberg sedated too. I got some zip ties. They're all zip tied. I've got a bunch of criminals here. Can you come detain them and put them on trial for me? I have here my court documents. Good court documents right there. And they were like, listen, you're a criminal suspect too. We have to take you in for questioning. I'm like, okay. Listen, I unloaded the risperidone gun. Everybody's in zip tie restraints except the dog beasts and my wife and myself. And I'm going to be waiting outside. I'm going to be sitting on the porch or whatever. Going on Facebook. Browsing Facebook. On my own account with myself, no friends, and just posting stuff, posting music or whatever. The police are gonna come with like a SWAT team, SEAL Team 6. I'm just like, hey, I ain't got nothing, man. They're gonna be like, go get out of the crowd, put your hands behind your back. I'm like, okay, yes. The FBI is gonna be, the Director A is gonna be like, listen, man, what are you doing? You're supposed to give into the Sabati and Francas pyramid scheme. Didn't you get the memo? If I have to, then I will. Then that means you have to arrest me? No, I have the government in a stranglehold. Basically, I'm going to prove that you're committing treason against yourself. You're going to put me on trial. Then you're going to be on trial in my own trial. I'm going to put you on trial. The class action lawsuit, I was like, Claire Ketchy and Edward S. Keeley, now you're on trial. You're accessories after the fact. There goes your prosecutorial immunity. No, now you're on trial. Put you on trial. Class action lawsuit. Anybody got any claims against Claire Ketchy and Edward S. Keeley? Now you're on trial. He'd been found de facto guilty, and the Office of the Inspector General is going to go arrest Director Ray. The main goal there was to have everybody pile on top of Facebook and Palantir. And I was going to say, listen, Will, a criminal referral can be issued by the judge, and then one of the court-appointed officers can go to the Office of the Inspector General with the proceedings of the trial and say, listen, we're recommending prosecution here. We're recommending it first and foremost an investigation, then prosecution. watched me play chess at the psychiatric ward. Yeah, I let a few people win because they wanted to win, right? And then I played some good games. Man, I went blow for blow in some of those games. There was one guy, Enrique. Yeah, I got him in like 5 checkmates in a row. I lost like what? Maybe like 4 or 5 pieces, and I was like, checkmate, checkmate, checkmate. Gavin. Oh, sorry. Kevin D. Almeida. Kevin DL got no meter. Kevin D. Meters. Yeah, Singularitarian Technologies is going to come up with an mRNA vaccine to give you a bigger meat. Meat tech. I remember, like, there was one day at my distributors, we were talking about how I was a transhumanist, and then Michael was like, Michael Hernandez, one of the best workers at my distributors ever, if not the best, and I was like number 2 probably. He was like, yeah, why do you want to become a transhumanist? Like, do you want to make your cock larger? And I was seriously answering his questions, like, no, I kind of want to fix global climate change. I want to fix this scarcity problem that we have by going out into the universe. I want to live my life for as long as possible. Like, I want to reduce like my depression. I want to get rid of my depression. And and then sorry, Michael was like, are you sure that you just don't want to make your cock larger? Yeah, I got a coronavirus vaccine right in my cock. Right into one of the veins in my cock. Meat tech. And then you go to sleep that night, and then the next morning you have an 11-inch slanger. It's growing overnight. Yeah, Rome wasn't built in the day, but my fucking meat grew 11 inches overnight. You gotta like coil it up. Oh, it's gonna be a problem when you get an erection because it's gonna be like uncoiling itself. It's gonna be like. And Michael was like, "Are you sure you just don't want to get a bigger cock, man?" Diego and Michael were like, sorry, Austin. His name's Austin now. What was his like? Sarazani. I think that's like a bastardized form of Caesarani. Sarazani. He was like, he changed his name to Austin. He's like, yeah, you're being raped. What do you mean you're being raped? Telepathically raped? He's like, what the heck is this, man? I remember one day I came to my distributors, like the day I started taking the smart drugs, because I had taken modafinil in 2014. Yeah, illegally. I bought it off the dark net, off of the Silk Road. I bought DNP, and the vendor gave me 1 free pill of Adderall and 1 free pill of modafinil. I was like, yes. He's like, you're gonna like this. I was messaging him with PGP encryption. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna like this. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, you're gonna get 1 free pill of Adderall and 1 free pill of modafinil. I was like, yes. How much was the DNP? I think like $40 or $50 for like 20 grams or something like that. Nice. Is DNP fun to take? No. It's not a psychoactive substance. It's good for losing weight, though. It probably has some really good immunological effects. And there's new research from what's the name of that company? Mitocore or something? Mitocore. Mitogen. That's the name of the company. Mitogen. They've been doing research on 2,4-dinitrophenol, and it's really good for reducing cholesterol and helping ameliorate type 2 diabetes, and also obviously lose weight as well, but only in men. So women who take 2,4-dinitrophenol can get cataracts and go blind. But I really abused 2,4-dinitrophenol. I took like 800 milligrams a day sometimes for like 2 weeks, and I was like, wow, I'm sweating fucking bullets. I had to sleep in my dad's room with the air conditioner because he has an air conditioner right next to his window, and like that feeds into the room and air conditions the room. But then right underneath it was the bed, and I was still sweating. I was like clammy as fuck. I was like, I see 2,4-dinitrophenol having a really good utility as a antimicrobial agent, as a mechanism, as a method of last resort via its mechanisms of action, as a proton ionophore. Yeah, really interesting compound. The only two known microbiota that have any sort of resistance against 2,4-ditrophenol and actually consume the substrate are two protozoa. Where in Hyderabad there was a dumping ground where they had dumped phenolic compounds like 2,4-ditrophenol over the course of like what 50 or 60 years. Do I still have that research paper? I do. They dumped those phenolic compounds in that waste dump in Hyderabad, and they some scientists took an assay of this particular this particular waste dump, this toxic chemical dump, and they had found that there was two protozoa that had actually developed an evolutionary advantage against 2,4-dinitrophenol and resistance thereof by actually consuming the substrate, which is crazy, which is insane. But those are the only two known microbiota that have any sort of resistance against 2,4-dinitrophenol. So it could be a really good antimicrobial agent as a method of last resort. It could have some really good uses in helping to kill the rabies virus as well too. But there were two people who patented the idea first. So I wrote the research paper as a policy initiative paper. I think that would be a good policy initiative to have. The CDC should maybe look into that instead of endorsing genocide. Do I support that? What do you take me for? No, honestly, what do you take me for? Honestly, look into my eyes, man. Look into my eyes. Like, who do you see here? Do you see a genocidal and homicidal maniac? Maybe with Mark Zuckerberg that's true, but not me. How dare you disrespect me? How dare you insult my intelligences? What do you take me for, man? No, honestly, fuck you, man. Yeah, look, listen, man. I jerk off into cum socks. I commit genocide every night, but only with my own semen, my own sperm. Okay, listen, that's my own problem, dude. Those are not sentient human beings. It's just sperm. Your mom commits genocide every night. She drinks like a fucking gallon of sperm. Your wife, man. Your wife's a hot wife, I guess, or whatever. A BBC cuckold queen, a queen of spades. Yeah, and then that big black coal who's fucking your wife up the ass and dumping all his semen, committing genocide your wife's asshole. Oh my god, that's why I love watching on Pornhub. Listen, man, my heart was broken during the Pornhub purge because I had like bookmarks upon bookmarks of my favorite pornography from Pornhub. Pornography is an art form. Like I was criticizing it as like a sort of curator of porn. I was curating it. I must have had like what, at least 300 bookmarks. I deleted those one day because I was being like a puritanical kind of Christian. I was like, listen, if I'm gonna watch pornography, I'm just gonna look it up instead of saving all of this like sensuously craven and depraved monstrous depravity of like debauchery. That's like every bookmark. Every bookmark's like, oh. There was some good porn. I'm getting an erection just thinking about it. There was some good Pornhub porn on Pornhub that I bookmarked. I wish I still had it. I wish it was still on Pornhub because I'd probably be watching it if I would have saved my bookmarks. I'm sorry. I like jerking off sometimes. So you just gotta jerk it out, Let's play "Jerk It Out" by the Caesars. And you feel it running through your boner. Then you jerk it out. Shut up, hush your mouth, and take this big fat load. I can't tell you nothing because your mouth is running an overload with semen. Jerk it out. Spoiler there. Oh, relax. Jerk it out. I wish I could find my lapel microphones because that would be much more convenient. Am I being raped? Yep. It would be much more convenient than having this another headset around my neck. But I lost all of my lapel microphones. I know that we're kind of meandering yet again because I have to do work, right? And I have to go to sleep soon too. But here are the lapel microphones that I bought on Amazon. Really cheap, but really good too. Really nice quality. Do I have an example of a video where I use them? Yeah. Watching pornography is not a good thing. Well, guess what? I'm John Lacheris. I admit that I'm a sinner. That's all I know. I don't. You keep claiming that I'm God or whatever. I'm a sinner, man. I like to sin sometimes. I'm sorry. I like porn. I like sex. I'm sorry. I lust. I have those desires in myself. I think it was 2015 when we first ordered these, the clip-on mics. Look at these. I forgot the price that I paid for these. Let's see the actual order. Invoice. Amazon's a really good platform, and I'm not trying to just endorse Amazon. I actually really like Amazon. Look, it was a set of 3 lapel microphones in 2015 that I bought, and then I bought more. What happened to these headphones? I sold them for weed, like $5 or whatever. Nice. $2 per lapel microphone. And they're really good quality too. Destinally. I bought a lot of these. Oh, they no longer exist? Yeah, these are the ones that I bought last time. Yeah, 4-pack of microphones. $1.22 for each. That was really good. Yeah, let me show you a video where I have an example of that. Then we'll listen to Jerk It Out. Oh, shit. It was 186, I apologize. Episode number 186. Here I'm using a lapel microphone.
Good evening and welcome. This is Romola D from Romola D Report, and I'm here this evening with John.
And there's something I want to talk about here. Sometimes I make those grimacing faces. I don't have any ill will towards Romola. I actually used to love her, but I'll tell you one thing, and I apologize to her concerning this, and Alfred and Catherine, and the targeted group that they have, targeted individual group that they had. Against targeted individuals, for targeted individuals against targeting. Yeah, I used to spam troll comments sometimes. They'd be like, "Yeah, like, take your meds, schizo. This is bullshit." Yeah, because I was on risperidone and I was like a zombie. I didn't care, but then I actually matured and on risperidone you do. It's kind of funny. You do things which are more psychotic than when you're off risperidone. Here I'm on aripiprazole, and risperidone was much more intense. I was like a zombie. I didn't have any sort of feelings at all in life, and I thought contradictorily enough, against not necessarily doing bad things, but just trolling was a really convenient thing. Not that it necessarily made me feel better, but trolling was something that I was addicted to on risperidone. And I apologize to Romola, but I love Romola. She's great. Not romantically or sexually or whatever else, platonically. And she's a very nice woman. Her family's from India, and her family wanted her to study medicine or engineering or something, and she wanted to be a journalist. That was her life goal, and she was suppressed for a long time too, because she's talking about what the deep state is doing, and the CIA and all of these other institutions and other private actors are doing to innocent human beings like myself. And it was really tense because Alfred and I and Romola and I, we are in some deep shit. And Catherine, she's in some deep shit too. Melanie Richchan, we're in some deep shit. Why are you doing this to us?
Has a very interesting background, a varied background in the sciences and the social sciences, in sociology and in data analysis. He's worked as a financier on Wall Street. He does scientific research. He's an author and a researcher who's published quite a bit in the areas of neuroscience and also science fiction, I understand, as well as philosophy. As I said, his interests appear to be very varied, and he's currently working, I understand, on many scientific papers in neuroscience. and neuropharmacology, which he hopes to submit to various science journals.
Yeah, I never submitted the papers to journals because, yeah, there was a big problem in the sense that like my paper seemed like more like an advertisement to some extent, and that's not necessarily what I was trying to go for, but it was like kind of marketing material for the actual products, but it actually turned out to be like like a doctoral thesis within and of itself. And it's a little bit rough. Like I needed to edit it more, but I'm being raped, I'm being tortured. So I would have extensively, not just paraphrased more, but like elucidated my thoughts more, and in terms of the empirical sort of evidence that I was collecting and reviewing in the meta-analysis. And I would have done a lot more mathematical and statistical analyses if I had the capability and wherewithal to withstand the torture and rape and harassment and abuse and do good work. But it was more so like a general literature review, meta-analysis, and I did a little bit of mathematics there too that were particularly significant, especially concerning like harm reduction and stuff like that. But if I had the chance to do it again, I would talk about NeuroTECH 2 in the sense that, like, yeah, now we're talking about the new complex derivatives that have come out and better compounds that are much safer, hopefully so, and also much more efficacious in helping human beings increase their intelligence. And we maybe Singularitarian Technologies Corporation can start that revolution, I guess, where we're going to have extensive peer review of these kind of substances, and almost anybody can become as intelligent as I've become. And, I fundamentally hated math when I was growing up. I hated doing mathematics. I remember in the past I hated doing even algebra. I was like, this is horrendously bad. But yeah, the reason I'm pulling this up is to show you and let you hear the quality of the lapel microphones I used to have. I gotta have one microphone, one lapel microphone around here somewhere.
But he's also looking ahead to going back to Wall Street and working as a financier. But this evening we are here to speak about a story of targeting, unexpected, unanticipated targeting that came his way after he had a run-in with a rather famous software company that we all know. And, I'll leave it to him to explain the whole story. So, welcome, John. Thank you so much for joining me this evening, and thank you for bringing your story to my audience.
Hi, Romola, how are you?
Yeah, see, it's not the actual Samsung headphones that I have in that are the microphone. No, I have a lapel microphone attached to the cable there that's plugged into my computer.
I'm very good, thanks. How are you doing tonight?
Good. It's good to talk to you. And it's good to disclose yet again what has been happening to me. And there have been significant new developments in terms of the last time I had discussed this in an interview.
And the quality's not that bad for $1.22 microphone. That's really good, man, for a lapel microphone like that. It's not bad.
But that's a very nice introduction. I think it encapsulates me very well. So, about 4 years ago, in October 26, 2016, I had submitted an application to work for a technical sourcer and recruiter at the corporation Facebook. More specifically, the subsidiary Oculus VR, who worked for a reality company. And in that time, I had been wiretapped. My GPS coordinates were tracked, and I had been stalked, and I had been stalked even by major figures in the corporation like Mark Zuckerberg and John Carmack, where I had seen them in Newark, New Jersey, blue Ford F-150s. And I was speaking to my girlfriend at the time, who I was deeply in love with, and they had influenced her somehow, and this is what I had found out some years later.
I gotta tell you the truth. Every time I think about Isabella, and I'm sorry that I get so angry at you sometimes. Like, listen, I don't care. Like, if I'm not being raped and tortured, if she wants to cheat on me or whatever else, it's up to you. But eventually, you're gonna converge to the fact that, yeah, you'd rather have love from somebody who really cares about you than promiscuous sex 18 hours a day. Because that's not a life to live, Isabella. What are you gonna do all day? That's not necessarily a good life to live. I don't think so, at least. I could convince you if we had a few conversations. Like, yeah, are you gonna do that until you're old? Like, what's wrong with you? Maybe you think that's the best thing you can do, but there's so much more to life than that. I think that I don't care about who she has sex with. Just insofar as that that you could get an STD, you can get very sick, you can get pregnant, and like I'm not gonna really tolerate that too much. Like, I'll help cure you of the STD, but I'm not gonna take care of somebody else's baby. I'm sorry. That's where I kind of draw the line. I would probably get a divorce. I'm sorry, but like, it's up to you.
We had held her
this is sort of like an absurdity beyond belief. Like why do you have to necessarily do this? It's not just because you can. Like, why are you doing this to be so malicious? Like, why? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, don't you see how creepy that is? Like, yeah, people, like billions of people use Facebook allegedly so, or at least hundreds of millions of people verifiably do, and you're reading all of their messages, like you're just interfering with their lives. Like, what's wrong with you? Don't you have something better to do with your time? Like, why are you being such a creep? Why are you being such a peeping Tom? Like, get a fucking life, man. Stop being such a loser. Like, yeah, somehow, like, what I do is suboptimal. Somehow, I'm a scam artist. But then, yeah, wasting your time jerking off to some random girl on Facebook that you're wiretapping, that's not a waste of time? Like, come on, man. Like, yeah, you're seeing all of her private naked pictures on Instagram Messenger or whatever. Why are you being such a creep, man? It's disgusting. And Romola is like, yeah, that's pretty creepy. Hundreds of millions of people upon billions of people are being spied by Mark Zuckerberg jerking off his like 1 micro-inch cock. He's like, even the dog Beast is like looking at the screen. She's like, Beast my ass. Bullshit. Let's listen to this for a little bit. I know we're not really doing quite a lot of work, but fuck it. I'm meandering again. Even just given the fact that you're raping and torturing me, that's really creepy. Like, that's really disgusting. Am I scared of that? No. It's just really creepy. Like, Mark Zuckerberg is literally a sadistic homosexual rapist. Ew. What's wrong with you? It's disgusting, man. Like, that's how you wanted to spend your life? Like, you're only one life to live? What's wrong with you? It's disgusting.
Here is that the entire time that these things have been happening, I've been trying to reach out to the police and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and almost every time that I reached out to them, where there have been almost, I would dare I say it, assassination attempts on me and my family, there have been it's been a sort of backlash by the police to commit me to psychiatric institutions, thinking that I'm insane or criminally insane, and there have been several times where at night there might be somebody trying to break down my door or come into my house, and I actually have evidence of this too. And I presented the actual evidence of what happened to me to the police and the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and they've committed me to psychiatric institutions. So, what does this evidence entail, and what does this evidence consist of? Is a very good question that some people might ask. So I've been doing my own private investigation over the last 4 years of background reports, getting actual confessions from people who work at Facebook, from high-level executives like, for example, Jonas Krohn. And I spoke to him some a year and a half ago, about a year ago, and he had, just as a background, Jonas Krohn is the senior vice president at Trillium Asset Management, who is a major stakeholder in Facebook Incorporated, an outside investor who wanted to oust Mark Zuckerberg in a quorum against the CEO of Facebook. But since he has so much voting power, Mark Zuckerberg outvoted every other outside investor at Facebook. So I had reached out to him, and I found his phone number online, and then he had helped me somehow by getting a confession from somebody at Facebook it, admitted to the fact that my wife was sex trafficked as a sex slave by people in Africa, Facebook Incorporated, even implicating people like Mark Zuckerberg. And I've been noticing for the past 2 years that I've been
And listen, man, listen. I never wanted to have to do this from the very beginning. Like this is an absurdity. This is nonsense, man. This is ridiculous.
getting censored, redacted, revised. I've been getting suppressed on Twitter, suppressed on Facebook, on YouTube, even in terms of search result queries, in terms of trying to publish the truth. I would get instantaneously banned on Twitter and on Facebook. And that's one piece of evidence, and the background reports consist of another where I had seen members of her family moving to California. They had joined the Freemasons, which seems kind of scattershot, doesn't really make too much sense because her family was never part of the Freemasons before I had met them. And
Were
my
never
girlfriend
part.
used to be a barista at Starbucks, so she never had such quite access to a very prominent fraternal organization of wealthy individuals who I believe are really Satanists trying to rule the world. But they were never part of the Freemasons, and I figured that out too in my own private investigation, including her father and her mother. They had joined the Freemasons. Sorry, let me just get some water here.
Romola was really adamant about me not vaporizing on stream, but Alfred was more cool about it. I was like, "I'm sorry, Alfred. I'm gonna take a vaporizer hit." I'm sorry, I need my vape. And then I really had to control myself on Romola's video here. This was not a live stream, but this was a recording. With Alfred, it was a recording too. And God bless you too, and Catherine as well, and Melanie Verse Chan, and what was the other guy's name? I forgot the guy's name. I really like him too. Oh man, he's part of Ikator as well. I forgot this guy's name. If I look him up, I'll find him. Fuck. What's this guy's name, man? Yeah, he's a really interesting character. And Alfred is a distinguished lawyer. He's a distinguished character as well too. He came from Cuba, and he served for the United States government as a liaison, I guess, and as a lawyer for the Department of Defense. And he is a very intelligent man. And I'm not trying to puff up his ego or just comment him and flatter him. No, very intelligent man, extremely intelligent, extremely good lawyer. He's a little bit out there with some of his conspiracy theories, though, and I actually like that because he's a very good entertainer as well, and as a host for his channel on YouTube. Alfred, I love Alfred. He's great, platonically, of course, and a good friend, I guess, if he wants to be a friend of mine. He's a very old man at this point. I don't want to be, mocking him or abusing him. He's an older gentleman, but yeah, he said he was privy and party to, not necessarily party, I guess privy to information that he shouldn't have had in the 1960s and 70s, where DARPA had pretty much pulled information from the future about what he was going to write about and what he was going to do. And I believe his testimony. I do. That yes, somehow the government has time travel technology, but this doesn't make sense because because this happened to me as well too, and it's strange. It's strange what's happening. But Alfred, what a good man, Mr. Weber. Came from Cuba, and Romola is great too. Let me find the guy who I'm thinking of here. If I search TI, maybe I can get it. I forgot this guy's name, man. He's a really interesting character. Yes, this guy, Magnus Olson. Yeah, he's really interesting in terms of what he talks about, in terms of the science and how he wants to help people in Europe. And yeah, he's got a really good heart too, Mr. Olson, Magnus Olson. I like him too. He's a good guy too, at least in terms of what I know of him publicly. And Alfred is very much like very inquisitorial, but also very open-minded person as well too. He's very sort of like a little bit detracted. He's a little bit sort of analytical. He's kind of interviewing his guests, and sometimes you can see the pure joy on his face, the pure love that he has for some of his guests. And I guess maybe he was warming up to me too, because he likes I guess he likes that. He likes people who are very intelligent as well, who are intellectually stimulating and can actually maintain a good conversation, who are going to be very sort of, how can I say this, not necessarily just intellectual, but moving the conversation forward, coming up with good solutions and coming up with good points of dialogue to have in a discussion. Because a discussion it's not just you by yourself. You've got to be sociable. You've got to be not necessarily entertaining, but not necessarily terse as well, but functional in your capacities to talk about things and elucidate your ideas and express what you're talking about and to describe such points thereof as well. And yeah, I felt like Magnus Olsson. He's got a little bit of an accent, but I think he's from Sweden if I remember correctly, but I'm not sure, I forget, or Norway. Yeah, but it doesn't really matter too much to me. Like, his points are very clear and very valid. Yeah, he's been targeted as well too, and he's got evidence too. It's probably because it's strange. Like, it's like a catch-22. Yeah, we're gonna talk about targeted individuals in the future and how we're being targeted, but then the state has targeted us first, and private actors have targeted us first. Why are they targeting us individually, in particular? Do I believe Alfred is a traitor? No. See, you've asked me this telepathically. I believe Mr. Weber is a very distinguished lawyer and a very distinguished and honest gentleman. Yes, I don't know too much about his private life. I forgot the name of his wife, Miss Weber, but she's a good person too, a good woman. And yeah, I guess they're really in love with each other, and they live in Vancouver now. He used to live in the United States though. At first, I think they came from Cuba to Miami, and they moved throughout the United States. I think he moved to Washington State. I forget. But yeah, nice guy, like him. Yeah, I was like, Alfred. Yeah, I didn't tell him this personally, but it'd be funny, like, because Alfred's a really good host. He's a really good entertainer. Like, he could come up with like any sort of great conspiracy theory or story. Like, he could tell you like a nice bedtime story, and you would just fall right asleep. He could just lull you to sleep. Yeah, and I'm not trying to insult him or diminish him. Like, I used to watch his videos before I would go to sleep, and like, yeah, sometimes I would dream about that stuff, about the conspiracy theories and stuff. It's nice. I like it. I do that a lot. Like, there was a web series at Harvard about algorithms. It was this one. There was this one. Was it CS50? I know it was 144 or one. Hold on. Sure, I forgot which one it was. Yeah, Advanced Algorithms 224. Yeah, I used to watch this entire playlist right before I went to sleep. This guy is bass too. Yeah, I would just fall asleep listening to this. I had this like on a playlist a few years ago, and I fell asleep listening to it. Yeah, funny, huh? Let's watch the rest of this concerning Romola and what I testified to and testified about.
Absolutely. You've done a great job at summarizing the whole story, but I know that you've told me quite a bit of this prior to this interview.
Yes.
Would you like to continue before we go in, because I have many questions, to go right back to the beginning, and we could pause and go back to the beginning, but did you want to finish up what you were summarizing, and we can go back to the beginning?
Yeah, let me just finish the summary very quickly, because then people will have a good idea of what's happening and like the sort of
Sure.
immensity of what's going on here. So I eventually had called the police after many lines of inquiry satisfied and many sort of lines of evidence satisfied, and then they had, instead of investigating these people.
Here's another thing I want to talk about too. A lot of people have this sort of, how can I say this, fear of the police. Like, you have to realize they're people too. Like, they're there to help you. Like, if crimes are being committed against you and your family or anybody else that you know, like, you should tell them. Like, maybe your friends might call you a rat or a snitch. No. Listen, like, how are you going to live your life if people are trying to hurt you and your family, or you see something that's happening on the street? Like, that's what they're there for. Like, they had gone to the police academy, and maybe some of them actually wanted to be, police officers or law enforcement agents for their entire lives, to serve justice and to dispense justice to help, the public at large. You got to give them their due credit, and they're good people. But I think they deserve respect, especially the good ones, because they're putting their lives on the line for you, and not only just you, but the public at large. Obviously, they deserve their salaries, they deserve their commendations, they deserve their respect, their as civil police officers in the United States and around the world too, because they're there to protect the innocent. They're there to protect even the guilty, so to some extent too. If you're going to provide resistance and you're going to start shooting the police or hurting anybody else, they have the right to use lethal force against you, whatever else they need to do, tase you, so on and so forth. They're there to maintain order and stability in the law, which I like. I support that, because how are we going to have a civilization without civility, right? And there's this sort of notion that a lot of people have that, like, the police are your enemy, or the police are there to harm you. I don't think so. I think differently. I think of them as human beings first and foremost, and that's the way you got to treat them. And that's why I was crying earlier, because you really got to me. I said that so irrationally, so because I'm being tortured and raped, but I'm still a human being too, and I understand what we're going through. The human condition. Nobody wants to just die like that. And yeah, I felt like crying there when I was right there on the stairway, at the top of the stairway there, with the police about to come upstairs. And yeah, you talked me out of it. You did a really good job.
Facebook and formerly an Oculus VR, they had thrown me in the psychiatric ward numerous times, and the major incidences, because I had been to the psychiatric ward 5 to 6 times, reporting these crimes to the police, wherein my girlfriend had reached out to me and said, "Listen, I want to be rescued because I am in a situation where it's not safe, and I feel very scared for my life." And I just couldn't really handle it to some extent, being at the psychiatric ward, because I didn't feel like I needed to be there. And at these psychiatric wards, people were getting their heads beaten. These places were very unsanitary. The psychiatric techs would make.
As a matter of fact, when I went there last time, like almost every night, there was like roaches in my bedroom. I think this was room 2124. Yeah. In Trinitas, the psychiatric ward, like almost every time I woke up, there was like roaches in the room, and there was one time there was roaches crawling all over the sink, and like on top of like our toothbrushes and stuff like that. I was like, ew, this is disgusting. I called the psychiatric techs after I killed like a roach or two, and I was like, listen, there's like roaches crawling like all over my toiletries. Like, this is not sanitary. Can you just sanitize this for me? Then I kept like my toiletries in a different area, like away from the roaches, like up in the closets, like and stuff like that. I was like, listen, you're not gonna touch my stuff, roaches.
One of people, and are and there would be no running water. There would be like mice and like cockroaches running around,
Oh my
and
god.
they would. The worst part is about all this is that if you really want to leave those psychiatric wards, you have to suck up to the doctors, and you have to seem lucid and clear, and you have literally no privacy, and they force psychotropic medications on you, and you don't have access to technology or any phones. You can only read books, and then it's very depressing, a very depressing kind of environment. Even sometimes they might not have clothes that even fit you. Like you might not be able to take a shower, and it's very much like a prison environment. And I was sent to these places, these psychiatric wards, for speaking out on the truth. And the main psychiatric ward that I was sent to was Trinitas Regional Psychiatric Ward, which is about 15 minutes away from my house in Elizabeth, New Jersey. And it was very, very sort of traumatizing and shocking. And things have been getting better as of recently. I've got an interview for a job on Wall Street next week to go back and work as a financier yet again. But it still doesn't take away the years of trauma and suffering and the pain that I've been through, and missing my girlfriend, and missing out on, the love that we could have had, and the fact that she is now in a situation that she doesn't want to be in, and the fact that I had lost so much money in hardware and software that was destroyed.
Sorry to interrupt myself, but this video was previously on YouTube, and Romola D's entire channel was taken down, and she had a bunch of heavy-hitting journalists, journalism news pieces and journalistic news pieces against the actual people who are perpetuating these targeted individual crimes and crimes against humanity. And yeah, Google didn't want to hear any of that. They took down the entire channel, presumably for stuff like this that she was posting. And I was like, well, I'm sorry, Romola, but like, this is the kind of stuff that we have to talk about because it's actually happening.
By Facebook, and the peace of mind and security which was the most important thing that I've lost over these last few years. So I think that's a good summary and summation. If you have any sort of questions, you can ask me them, Romola. And it's very shocking to hear this kind of stuff. It's very traumatizing, especially
It is.
to have a sort of a panelist be uh, subjected to such deprivation of human rights and civil liberties, which is the most shocking part of all of this. So
Yes, absolutely. I mean, the whole of your story is really quite startling in its entirety. And I think a lot of people hearing this, because no doubt you've told the whole story pretty much. It sounds like people hearing the name Facebook are going to stop right there and say, "Well, what exactly happened?" And it sounds like you had not actually worked at Facebook. You applied for a job there, and during the time that you were waiting to hear back, things started to happen to you. Your devices got hacked, you say?
right.
Can you go into that part of the story? What really started happening after you applied to Facebook? And why do you link everything that happened to Facebook? And what is your girlfriend's connection to
Like,
Facebook?
listen, I just don't want to watch this over and over again. Like, you can find this by searching up alt censored, altcensors.com, report number 186, John Lasheris on targeting after reporting Facebook involvement in trafficking crimes. Like, I find this to be so absurd and, like, disgusting, like, that my life has turned out this way. Like, I don't want to have to blame anybody for what they've done against me, but then I have evidence that you've actually done it, right? Like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, what kind of life do I live right now? Uh, like, this is, like, absurd nonsense. This is just ridiculous, like, beyond fucking belief. This is fucking ridiculous beyond belief. Like, I never wanted to just, be successful or be somebody in life predicated on the fact that I had to suffer or the fact that I was going to be tortured or raped. Like, I don't think most people want to go through that anyway. Go through that kind of nonsense. You'd be tortured for fucking 18 hours a day so you can be somebody in life. I could have been somebody in life without that, and that's unnecessary. Like, to the highest degree of, like, absurdity and fucking horseshit nonsense. Like, what the fuck is this, man? No bullshit here, man. If you're gonna do this to me, I might as well go, guns blazing against you with everything that I've got, the entire motherfucking arsenal, every motherfucking munition I've got against you, and I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, well, fuck you, and I'm gonna go balls to the wall now. I don't give a fuck. The police know. Everybody knows at this point that I will do it. If I have to, then I will. Go ahead and arrest me. What are you going to do exactly? Yeah, charge you with crimes that the jury's going to find you innocent for because you've been actually, not guilty for your entire fucking life. And you've got evidence against almost fucking everybody at this point. And that's publicly sourceable information. Yeah, it's not inadmissible evidence. It's not blackmail. It's not extortion. It's not coercion. It's not bribery. It's not corruption. What are you going to do exactly? Yeah, if the evidence is on fucking Google.com, then what the fuck is the problem? Yeah, go on Google.com. Okay, yeah, Facebook is sex trafficking people. Yeah, here's the background reports. They're murdering people. Yeah, here's Isabella Santiago. She's in a fucking cave somewhere. Like, come on, man. This is an absurdity, man. If you're gonna do things like this, why can't you do it, like, properly and in secret, like, without having all of the evidence, like, everywhere? Like, what's wrong with you? Like, are you just trying to commit suicide, Mark Zuckerberg? Are you trying to kill yourself on purpose? Why don't you just go kill yourself then? Why do you have to go through this roundabout nonsense? Why do you have to go through all this horse shit, man? All this bullshit, man. Look, there's no bullshit allowed here, bro. Like S-Fan used to say, this is a Christian live stream. Let's pull up S-Fan right now. This is a Christian live stream, man. This is a Christian live stream. I hope you understand that this is a Christian live stream. This is where's S-Fan? I want to hear him say that. This is a Christian live stream. Where is S-Fan, man? S-Fan. S-Fan's the fucking man, dude. No. S-Fan. S-Fan? Look, we're going to pull up S-Fan. This is a Christian live stream, but we're going to go back to the early days, the first video. Yeah, paladins can't do DPS. I used to do DPS in motherfucking rogue gear. I used to get super crits. My character's name was Nuberto. Nuberto. You like that? You like that, man? Oh my god, man. I I love World of Warcraft. Let's go. Let's pull up the first videos, man. Yeah, this is a Christian live stream. Where do you say that? Yeah, 3 years ago. It's a Christian live stream, bro. I used to troll in S-Fan streams too. Oh my god, man. Let's pull up the first video. Oh my god, it's a Christian live stream, bro. This guy's fucking hilarious, man. Timothy, I think his name's Timothy, right? First name, and yeah, he named his character S-Fan because his last name was S-Fandari. Oh my god, man. This guy's fucking hilarious, bro. You gotta watch S-Fan streams. He's fucking funny, man. Let's pull up the first video. Yeah, the raid DPS, #1 raid DPS video. Ah, come on, man.
All they need is some help and assistance, just a little support. All they need is some insight or a different strategy or plan of action to make some adjustments that will open up the key to a whole new future for them.
I can't do this right now, man. I just can't, man. Let's read some of these comments. How is this even mathematically possible? Were the other raiders really that bad? No, he actually was in a pretty good raid group too. It's all about strength and motherfucking strength, and that's it, bro. Oh my god, you are a fucking red paladin. Why the fuck do you waste your life? Listen, I had like strength and agility, and I was like a super critting paladin. Sometimes I would be #1 in like Warsong Gulch or Rathi Basin, like, but I would just crit people for like 900, 1250 with like a motherfucking, what was that AV polearm? I would crit them for like that much. Yeah, 1250 with fucking rogue gear. Yeah, and like 2 more crits because I had like a 33% crit chance. Like in 2 more crits, you're like dead, bro. You're like dead, dude.
It's got grown man strength.
Oh my fucking god, man. This is such an absurdity. This is a Christian live stream, man. Inverted Gaussian. Don't forget about the inverted Gaussian. Look at this motherfucking payload, man. Like, we're gonna use all of these Gaussian statistics to formulate our algorithm and also test our algorithm against Q Gaussian distributions, error functions. The 68, 95, 99.7 rule. Q Gaussian process. Oh my god, is this hard for me? No, it's not. You know what's really easy? Bayes' theorem is pretty easy. It's not bad. It's not too hard. If I was like a little kid, I would be like, this is fucking hard as shit. Bayes' theorem is not bad. This is easy as fuck, man. Come on. You can't solve something like this? You gotta be fucking retarded. It's just talking about probabilities, man. This is not hard at all. You see, when I do work like this, though, I make sure that I study meticulously, and I read and reread. Then I apply my theorems. I apply my particular testing. But Bayes' theorem is not bad. This is like basic probability. This is like basic stuff. Bayesian inference. Now, what would be really hard from these particular tests here? Let's pull up like one of the hardest things we have to do here. Let's look at these. Let's in a good estimation, let's talk about one of the hardest Gaussian types of tests to do here. Probably the maximum entropy probability distribution. That requires a lot of information that you might not necessarily have. But see, with a computer, yeah, that's not necessarily true. Like with a computer, that could be a lot easier to solve than for like, the eigenstate of the universe, for example. That's going to be like way out of anybody's mental capacity and league to understand. Maybe not for somebody like me if I have sufficient data and sufficient inferential information about the universe. That's not too hard. process emulator. Yeah, this might be particularly too meticulous and annoying to deal with while you're being raped and tortured. A Gaussian algorithm. Yeah, that's fundamentally what we were going for. A series of Gaussian algorithms. Yeah, probability, very simple. You see, I chose a lot of these methods and tests as a function of what I thought would be particularly useful and conducive to having a good idea of, tailoring an algorithm or series of algorithms to functionally get us to a point where we would get a really high sort of interpolative type of a high accuracy interpolative type of algorithm that would be fundamentally getting rid of all of this latency on the behalf of remote desktop protocol, where yes, we're doing quite a lot of guesswork here, but then fundamentally, like, we're going pixel by pixel to go ahead and say, well, for this particular distribution of pixels, we know what's going to happen for the next, few milliseconds or so, the next few nanoseconds, so on and so forth. So we're going to make a lot of inferential, calculations and conclusions about, how to reduce these polling rates as a function of the particular type of, like pixel fills and draws that are occurring on the behalf of the computer through remote desktop protocol. So like we're kind of trying to create this interpolative algorithm that is going to be very, very effective at predicting the next sort of set of the next sort of probabilistic sets of these sorts of renditions on the screen of whatever's particularly being transceived from the EasyCast 2 and the Xbox onto remote desktop protocol, where it's being how can I say this, screen shared or cloned from the Xbox via the TV or the Xbox. But see, I would have probably had a nice sort of set of a nice program there too, to have it just connect to the Xbox. You plug it in the Xbox after using the SDK, and then that's it. You don't even have to go to the TV. And then you have a nice 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi router, nice router. So and that gets rid of a lot of the sort of bottlenecking in terms of the bandwidth and throughput problems. Because if you go to the TV, then that's another step removed instead of just dealing with the Xbox. Even looking at this again, I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm really fucking advanced, man. Like, this is hard for me. Like, I'm gonna tell you, it's not easy, because like you have to do a lot of meticulous work, and you have to do your work concisely and precisely, and also with due diligence, and you have to make sure you're testing against these particular things, and that you're doing a significant amount of error correcting and error checking, and you are running many renditions of your particular software until it's sufficient enough to be called, at least an alpha and then a beta and so on and so forth, and then you've got a good product that you can, pitch or advertise, and that's called doing good work. Why a 200 kilobyte deployment? This shouldn't be a lot of code. No. Yeah, this is something that's fundamentally derivative of just functional passes and calls to the rendering pipeline and the SDK, and we're dealing with I think the Xbox uses DirectX as well. Probably we're not dealing with too much there, and we're trying to go ahead and deal on the Windows end with remote desktop protocol in terms of getting much more throughput into the actual bandwidth throughput into the actual software. So I probably would have had to do a little bit of kind of hacky stuff there. Is remote desktop protocol even like open source? See, maybe I would have used free RDP instead, because then I would have gotten access to the source code that would have been much, much easier for me to deal with, instead of trying to hack remote desktop protocol or develop a intermediate solution where fundamentally what we're doing we're going to have an interpolative solution that's coming from the Xbox's side going to the computer, and we're getting a much better rendering pipeline and latency throughput reduction there, instead of dealing with remote desktop protocol directly. So, but FreeRDP sounds like a good idea, you know. But then I would contact Microsoft. I would say, listen, you can still use my code anyway, right? We can make a deal here because this is something that you'd probably want as a product. Listen, I'm not feeling so well. I gotta take a shower and go to sleep soon. So, yeah, we're gonna do more work tomorrow, obviously, but let's just relax for now. Good night.